This is the Serious Seller's Guide. This is everything you need to know before you list. Section 1. When is the right time to sell? There are a lot of things to consider before putting your home on the market. Let's be honest, it's a lot of work to put a home on the market. You gotta deep clean, you gotta organize, you gotta do all these things to get it ready to be on the market. Now, before you even get there, is it even the right time to sell? Right? So in this market, we're at the end of 2025, going into 2026. The market outlook is going to really determine and give your agent the best time frame to list. Now, typically in the Denver metro area, the best time to list has been in early spring, and have that listing go through until the end of summer. Obviously, a lot of people are wanting to time it with school. They're trying to time it with the better weather. It's easier to move. There's more light during the day after the time change. All of that has to be taken into consideration. During this market, which is an interesting market we're in, it's a heavily buyer's market where buyers have a lot of options. And that's been the determining factor for a lot of things for sellers. And the reason why it's so hard to sell right now is there's so many options on the market. At the peak of the 2025 market, we had almost 14,000 homes, where we would typically see about 8,000 homes in the Denver metro area, the 11 counties surrounding Denver. Now, that's a lot of homes. So when we have a lot more inventory and the same amount of demand, that means competition. That means buyers are going to be picky. That is not a great thing for sellers. But there's a lot of homes that are selling and they're getting a decent value for them. It's not like they're losing a ton. So the market has a lot to do with the timing. Now, all of the reports I'm seeing for 2026 is going to be similar. There are obviously those outlier reports that, they're just trying to get clicks online. But a lot of the reports that I'm seeing from very reputable data analysis companies like Moody's and others are showing that we're going to see a flat market in value for homes. We're going to see flat numbers, and we're going to see even more homes, even more sellers being willing to sell because they've waited out. They've waited out the 22, 23, 24, 25, and now they're at year 3 or 4 of saying, well, you know what? It's time. The market's not going to change in our favor a ton. Let's just move forward. So, seasonality in the market, inventory levels. The interest rate has gone down 1.5% from 18 months ago, which is a great sign for buyers, and that's helped ease a little bit of the pain, although it still is there. Honestly, at 6% interest rate for a mortgage, we are seeing that just under the average for the last 30 years. Albeit, I get it. Home prices did skyrocket during the 2020 season, and but since we've stayed flat, we are typically where we would have been if that 3 to 4% appreciation per year. We are at those numbers, and so it may seem like we're still correcting, and we are in certain ways, but really we are in an okay spot. As income increases and home values stay flat, we will start to see that affordability for buyers increase, and that's really going to be the main driver of why we're at where we're at. The other things to consider are personal timelines and financial implications. What can your finances allow? Can you really move up in a home, or are you looking to downsize? Is that really gonna, are you really gonna maximize right now? And It is a great time to buy. There's a lot of deals going on, but it's also hard to sell. So, um, it's one of those tricky markets where you've got to just decide whether it's worth it or not. But considering taxes, HOA costs, all the other things that go into owning a home, repairs, upgrades, all of those things, a lot of people are saying that, yeah, maybe we should downsize. And yeah, having a newer home that's not 40 years old, it's going to allow us a little bit of freedom to not have to fix up and spend 10K on a furnace, or a 6K on an AC. And heating and cooling a home that's a third of the size does have a lot of energy efficiencies there. I mean, there's a lot of benefits. Section 2, pricing strategies. This is huge. This falls a lot on the real estate agent. If you've met with me before, you know what my strategy is. I'm not going to give it away over video. But the key is to not chase the market. You may think you're not maximizing your value, but in essence, when you get multiple offers, you're going to bump that number up to where it needs to be. The market is going to dictate how many offers you get, where they're coming from, who's offering, all of that. There are a few things in your control. One of those things is condition, and the other thing is price. You cannot change the interest rate. You can't change the location. You can't change the buyer's perspective on affordability. You can't change competition. And you can't change the market. All you can do is, by your home sale, influence the market in a better direction. And if you can get your home sold at that average days on market or less, you're in a good spot. And don't feel like you've wasted your time or wasted value from that. Your pricing strategy is going to determine how many offers you receive, how quickly you sell, and what value you get from it. The key options is having a strategic market pricing plan. It's being aggressive in your pricing to spark competition. There's a lot of options on the market right now, and there will be for 2026. And that is going to be a huge, huge deal when homeowners are selling their home. Section 3, pre-listing preparation. Now this includes deep cleaning, decluttering, and organizing. Depersonalizing is a huge thing. Not a lot of people want to be able to easily place themselves in your home. And if you complicate that by having a lot of family pictures up, which I'm sure they're great, but if you have a lot of family photos, then it doesn't feel like their home. It doesn't feel like their place. It feels like they're just in someone else's home. And so it's that mentality and that mental change, psychology of the sale that's really going to help. All of those little tips and tricks that I'll provide to you is really going to help a potential buyer come in and have that mindset right away. Fixing up the curb appeal is huge. Fixing all the minor repairs. I always suggest a pre-inspection to happen. That's going to help a lot. They know going in already what issues there may be with the home. Every home has its issues. Even new builds have their issues. And so having a few issues here and there is not the end of the world. But knowing that a seller is going to repair them and cares about the home enough to keep it up to where it needs to be, and improving the trim and cleaning up the paint scuffs or whatever, that means a lot to a buyer. A buyer will walk in and they know what kind of home they're in when it's well kept and taken care of. Section 4, more than the price matters. There are offers that come in where they're full price offers, but they want 3 months out to close. That's not a great thing, because you're asking to give them 2 months, 2.5 months of opportunity to get out, and now you've wasted 2.5 months of being pending. And there was a time where there was a lot of backup offers happening, but not in this market. Not with so many options. There's too many homes on the market to justify putting yourself in second in line just on a hope that it's going to fall through. It has to be the absolute perfect house for the buyer in order to do that, and have the patience to do that when there's typically 6 other homes just like yours in similar condition. All the other deadlines matter a lot in a contract. And so going over those and having a plan beforehand is a great way to combat that when it arises. Section 5, understanding your net proceeds. Understanding what you're going to get out of your home sale is a great thing, and it's great to understand kind of where, depending on your real estate goals and what you're going to do when you sell. Maybe you're going to buy a smaller home. Maybe you're going to buy a bigger home. Maybe you're going to move out of state. Maybe you need some cash to take care of something else, and then you're going to rent, or whatever it may be. Understanding what you're going to get from your home sale is important, and that will help you understand, hey, this is where the market's at, and this is what we're realistically looking at walking away with. And if it's not right, it's not right, and that's okay. So I hope all this helps in your preparation to put your home on the market. I always like to meet with my clients way before they're planning on putting it on the market, so I can help them, hey, look, these things need to be updated to maximize, the number that you're trying to get. Or, hey, we really need to wait a few more weeks because the holidays are here and there's going to be a lot less people looking. So all of those things are important to consider, and more time the better to prepare, because the more preparation, the better prepared you'll be for when you actually market your home and need to maximize your return on your investment and maximize your value in a challenging market like it is. So hopefully this helps. Please reach out with any questions. I'd be happy to help. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you.